What's up?
Where are we?
Ski Ramps World Headquarters.
I mean, not exactly.
We're in our secret storage space.
Oh.
And today we're going to talk about quarter pipes.
A little bit of a customer service video, huh?
Pretty much, yeah. People are always asking, I don't know what size quarter pipe I want. What should I get? A lot of times people say, I'm a beginner. I've been skating X long, or my son is at this level. They're able to drop in on such and such skate parks, quarter pipe or mini ramp or whatever, and they want to know what size ramp they should get. Basically, the purpose of this video is for anyone that's sort of on the fence of what size quarter pipe should I buy or make, go into all the pros and cons of different sizes.
Yeah. Well, right, because we were talking too about it, and I feel like, you know, people think that they want like X big, but really they want X small. That's 5 foot. Go stand next to that.
I'm exactly 1 foot over this.
That's tall.
Yeah,
Like,
the top of my head is 12 inches over the top of this 5 foot tall ramp.
you're trying to let us know that you're 6 foot when you're not? A 5 foot ramp doesn't sound that big. That's big.
Skating's meant to be fun, right?
Right.
You have more fun when you're learning more and doing more tricks. Just in this little lineup, like I can do 80 tricks on that.
Right.
I can do 70 on that. I can do 60 on that. I can do like 20 on that.
Right, right.
You know, it's like the bigger you go, you're sacrificing learning more tricks. And one thing that happens a lot of times skater dads, they want their kids to, you know, be the next somebody and be really good at skating. So they're like, I need a big one, like 3 foot. Yeah, can you make me 4 or 5? And like, no, dude, like seriously, 2 foot is like the sweet spot.
That is
Yeah,
like perfect.
2 foot tall, 4 foot wide, 6 foot wide, whatever, but 2 foot tall is so fun. 2 foot tall quarter is my recommendation for anybody that considers themselves a beginner or even intermediate, or you used to skate and now you're a dad in your 30s or 40s and you're kind of getting back into it and trying to like remember the tricks and
Right.
like figure it out again. That's perfect.
Right. Well, because also too with the radius, it's like it's got enough of a bump to like be able to feel the coping, you know?
Exactly.
Like that is like great starter, great learner. You can't really hang up. Doubles also has a ledge, which is kind of a moot point, but this is like super beginner, perfect, learning how to drop in and grind and ride. But then this one here is like, okay, enough of a bump, enough coping to feel what's going on.
There's enough of like almost a right angle
Right.
for a more proper lock-in, whereas the 18-inch tall, yes, it's great for kids learning their first drop-ins. It's great for learning like a really stable rock and roll. It has way less of a hang-up factor. I started making that like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's been tweaked and perfected over the years. Like I think we used to do a different radius, and then we used to do like a different coping reveal and a different deck size and whatever. And we've landed on this.
That's what I meant, coping reveal. That's what I
Coping
was-
reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in the last, 10 years of us selling the 2 foot quarter pipes, I've continued to learn new tricks on it.
Right.
Whereas on a bigger quarter pipe, I'm basically trying to just retain tricks that I have and I've already done.
Right.
I'm never learning on that.
Right, right.
I'm never like learning new tricks on that.
Right. Okay, so let's start here on the small one.
Yeah, so this is our transition ledge. It is 1 foot tall. It's kind of a steeper transition. I believe it's like a 6 foot radius. The coping reveal on this is a little bit more drastic than our other ramps, just because more often than not people are skating it like a ledge.
Right.
We sell this in a 4 foot version and an 8 foot version. The 8 foot version is basically 2 4s that you stitch together. So that's what this is. If you're brand new to skating or a teeny tiny kid, like perfect for the first drop in.
Right.
Your front wheels don't touch the surface, right?
You can get them too, but also it kind of helps if you're not fully comfortable. They just hit the flat bottom.
It translates what you need to do when you drop in.
Right.
Like you need to lean forward and keep weight back, but not too much weight back. So it's like, if you figure out your drop in on this and you go to the skate park by your house that has like a waist high quarter pipe, you already know the fundamentals from this.
Dude, you know what I just thought of actually? I actually feel like this would be easier to learn how to drop in on than this. I feel like since it's so quick, for a beginner, they might not be used to adjusting their weight as much.
That's true. This is more jolty.
Yeah. It's more jarring.
I'm hitting the ground a little quicker, whereas this is going to be a little more fluid. My wheels hit. Right?
Yeah, it's not as jarring. I would almost like advise like a more beginner moving into an intermediate realm, blue belt, if you will, blue belt skater, moving into that realm, because like this is where you're going to kind of learn your grinds and your slides and, you know, your pivot to, if you can pivot to fakie this, you can pivot to fakie that. Or that maybe.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because the reaction time has to be quicker.
Yes. And like, it's got to be quicker on that than it does on that.
True.
So
yeah,
this one might also be more for the guy that's like, I want to expand my bag of tricks.
And we have this on our quarter pipe page because, like I said, it technically is a very teeny tiny quarter pipe, but we more so intended for this to be skated like a ledge.
It almost serves as like the DIY vibe of like a quick crete spot where you grind off the end, grind, pop in.
Exactly. That's kind of where this was initially inspired from. I skated a DIY spot that was this. I had so much fun on it, and I was like, I'm gonna go make something like
Dude, once you get the hang of like how quick and jarring the transition is, it's so fun.
Yep.
Like if you can adjust yourself to the jarringness of this, like it translates, I feel like, pretty seamlessly to other radiuses.
Definitely. Another thing I want to touch on with this, people will often ask, why doesn't it have a plate? Whereas all our other quarter pipes have this threshold plate at the bottom. This does not have a plate because it dives into the ground ever so slightly quicker. So you have the 90-degree edge of that birch or skate light surfacing hitting the ground, where it's running into the ground so fast that you really don't need the plate.
It's like it's millimeters away from the ground.
Like I'm gonna ride straight at this with the intention of trying to stick. Like really slow. And I go right up it.
And it's seamless.
So when you're arcing in and going at an angle, it's gonna be that much less of something that could catch you. I didn't like that noise.
Yeah, let's get a better one.
What is that noise?
It sounds crazy.
I want to see if it's possible to like ollie from each one.
Oh, that would be cool, actually.
Here.
Damn, that's sick. All right, that counts. All right, let's talk about this one, 2-footer. Or wait,
No,
18.
Yeah, so we sell an 18 by 3, which is kind of our most introductory beginner quarter pipe. I started making these. I used to only make 2-foot tall and 3-foot tall. And then I'm friends with all these skate instructor guys, and 2 different ones asked for a smaller quarter pipe. Made those, they loved them. And then the parents of the kids that they give instruction to started asking for that ramp. 2x4s is probably the #1 seller. Next to that is the 18 by 3.
Yeah.
So they come standard 3-foot wide. This was like a scrap experimental one that Manny here at the shop made.
This one is almost necessary, like if you're just learning how to skate, because kids might move past this very quickly, but they're gonna, as a parent, you're like, no, let's get them something small so they can actually learn and like actually figure it out first before I invest in this. And then it might take however long for them to drop in on that one.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, it's gonna reduce the learning curve.
Right.
You're gonna get more tricks sooner, and it's just gonna build confidence for a beginner faster.
Right.
Just being not as high off the ground, having a little bit bigger of a deck.
Right.
All those things. The other nice thing is people, or kids, or people learning their first like rock to fakie or rock and roll.
Yeah.
It's almost at a point where your board doesn't touch.
Oh yeah.
Just ever so slightly.
So
right?
you can't really hang up. There's no super dangerous factor here.
Yeah, so you could ride up this thing, you know, having like never done a rock to fakie, and you're like, I'm gonna figure it out, and you don't have your footing right, and you don't spread out enough. You go here, the board it touches a little.
Yeah.
And even if you don't lift back up, it'll just go back down.
Right.
Like I'll do a couple rock to fakies where I'm like trying to do it wrong,
Yeah.
not spread out, not balanced and even, and every time like I'll make it through.
Like nothing.
Like foot in the middle.
Right.
And then I'll go high. And then if I go really low, that one grabbed me the most.
Right.
But not enough to catch me and throw me off.
Right.
So that's great about this. The other thing I'll say about actually all 3 of these, transition ledge, 18 by 3, 2 by 4, 2 by 6. These are all great if you want to skate indoors, because most rafters, like in a garage or patio covering or anything like that, is going to be at 8 foot. If you jump up from a 2 to a 3 and you're 5.5 feet tall, 3
You've
plus
got
5.5,
clearance.
you don't have clearance. You're going to smack your hand, smack your head. So these are all great for basements, garages, carports, patio awning covers, like stuff like that.
The thing I also like about it too is that, like, even though where the coping is set, you can still also like train yourself to pull the board over the coping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like when I did that back D, I did it all
You pulled it.
exaggerated.
Yeah, you pulled it in.
But I still acted like it was steep and tight and like
Right.
90.
So you can kind of prepare yourself
Still
for the
get
next
the-
step up.
Still get the fundamentals.
Right.
So the downside of the 18-inch tall by 3 foot wide quarter pipe, because it is so mellow, if you're getting to that phase of skating where you're a little bit more than a beginner and you're learning blunts,
You're hanging out on the coping.
this is very hard to blunt.
Yeah.
And if you want to lock Smiths, it's not really the ramp for that either.
Yeah, there's not as much lock-in. So that is why it's more of a beginner ramp.
You can fully grind a Smith on this.
Right.
And then get over here, you got to be way out there. So you're not really in a Smith.
No, it's not. It's like a lazy 5-0 thing.
Now we're gonna get into the 2 foot high quarter pipe, which, like I said in the beginning of this video, this is my favorite. This is what I think 95% of anybody who's going on our website wants to buy a quarter pipe should probably buy. As much as I want you to spend more money and buy the 3 foot, they're just a little more challenging. There's more of a effort, learning curve. You have to also think about, like, what kind of space do you have available? You know, you might be skating in the driveway. Say you have 50, 60 feet. The higher you go, the more speed you need to get to the ramp, as well as kill your speed when you come off.
Right.
So like I can skate all of these just kind of throwing down right here. That's great. But if I want to rock and roll that here,
You're gonna need to push a little bit harder.
yeah. So think about that too. Where you're gonna put the quarter pipe.
It's only 6 inches taller too, but the coping reveal is just that much better.
Exactly. Just 6 inches.
It's like you're actually blunted.
Yep. You're up there. You're not like this.
Right.
You're in it. You're almost vertical where you want to be.
Right.
Sometimes people will call out this deck and they're like, oh, the deck's sketchy. Why is it so small? 2 reasons. This is also a great launcher. So less deck, just less to launch over. It is just enough to not go all the way over. Typically, your wheels are right there. So we kept that in mind. We want enough to where you're not gonna like be doing that.
Right.
And then third, from there to there is 4 feet. We can get more out of a sheet, which ultimately we can make more of them for cheaper and not have to sell them as much to the consumer.
Let's see a blunt on this one now versus this one.
So much like,
It looked like you put way less effort into it.
I did, yeah. When I
You
got-
didn't even have to pop, you just pulled in.
when I blunted that one, I'm kind of camped out there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Really have to
You almost had to adjust your footing.
think of the pop. This, I had that quick instance of being a little weightless.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I have the right amount of coping reveal.
Nice. There we go.
I don't know what it is about pivot fakies.
This is my trick of the day. This is it. This is all you're getting out of me.
Let's see it. Oh, staying
I
alive.
even scraped the tail on the way down.
All right, big boy.
Oh, fuck.
Come on, come on, come on.
Really?
Remember how you were just saying, oh, it's so easy. If you could do it on this one, you could do it on that.
Oh my God.
Come on, just first try. No warm up. I thought it was no warm up. You're really helping prove my point about how much more fun small ramps are.
I've tried it once. Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. But all right, tried it twice. Yeah, see, like the grind helps with the momentum of pulling it in, because like you're going this way and then you just kind of let your shoulders fall this way.
I feel like I understand the physics of that, but when I do it, I get too scared and I can't do it.
That's exactly the problem.
Yeah.
It's all confidence.
Yeah, it seems like such a trusting trick.
See, with stalling it, I feel like I have to do more work.
Yeah, you kind of have to like pop
Like,
out.
I have to pull it in, but if you're grinding it, it falls in.
All right.
Like
makes
as long
sense.
as you put your body weight on the back truck, it'll just.
You doing that and then thinking about the two got me thinking about, all right, if you are someone or you have a child who wants to get air, you gotta go bigger.
Yeah.
That is one thing. Like, you know, I'm a street skater by nature, so I like this little stuff because it's more like stuff I would find in the streets or ditch spots.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to learn frontside airs, yeah, maybe get our 3-footer or ask us to make like something custom or
Tighter
a
radius.
5-footer. Once we go bigger than 2 foot tall, and this is a good tip if you're making your own quarter pipe at home, do a bigger radius. I made this like 11 years ago. The big tangent I went on is because I did this in the early days of Keen ramps, and I thought 6 was just kind of like universal and good to do on everything.
Yeah.
This is a little tight.
Yeah.
It's height.
No, it feels tight.
For being a 5 foot tall quarter, it's a little on the tight side.
Yeah, but it's nice. It is fun though. If you're in those like intermediate levels of
Yeah.
skating, it's fun, and it's like, you know, you really get that like semi-jarring transition
Yeah.
feeling skating it. It's good.
And you can air on this thing.
For sure. So let's talk about like the benefits of this and the type of skater that's actually going to skate this. We touched on it briefly, but let's get a little bit
Yeah.
more detail. And I want to talk about like where the coping is set and how beneficial that is for lock-ins, stalls, etc.
Okay. As you get bigger, 3, 4, 5, and so on, like a ramp this size is gonna be better for somebody that like wants to wear pads, aspires to skate vert, wants to skate cools and bigger transition. You need something bigger to teach you the fundamentals of skating that kind of thing.
Right.
A lot heavier, a lot more expensive, takes up more space, etc. But you can learn true airs. You can learn how to like really lock into your grinds, stand up on them.
Especially if this is the radius.
Yeah, this is a 6 foot radius, 5 foot tall ramp. So it's like, you know, imagine if this was.
Look how close it's coming to vert.
It is very close.
Yeah.
Very close to vert. So, you know, you could be up on, like on a stand-up Smith and really lock in and just go. Blunts are very blunted. So you learn a handful of like lip tricks on something this tall. You know, let's say you got your disasters, you got 5.0s, you got a pivot fakie.
Oh, it's going to translate.
You know, like if you go to a skate park and skate an 8 foot tall bowl, you can do all those tricks.
Right. Well, then, because typically at the skate park, it's not going to be a 6 foot radius.
Yeah, it's not going to be this tight.
So if you're used to this radius on this height, it's going to translate well to stuff that's taller. Let's see you do some shit on this.
like
let's
scratch the coping.
Yeah, scratch it a couple times. Let's get some airs. Yeah, you got to get higher, brother. Ooh, that was a good one. That was great.
That's like
Let's see it. Switch blunt.
switch blunt, and then that's the day.
All right. Oh, you got that easy, dude. Ah, you got it. Oh, what? Woo! Was that scary?
Yeah, I feel like I rode down on my left foot.
I could see the fear like as you were popping out of it.
It felt so wild.
That was sick, dude.
Thanks.
Hell yeah. Any last words?
That's a wrap. Smaller is better. Smaller is bigger. But if you want to buy 3-footers on a website, be my guest. Personally, I just think you'll have more fun on the 2-foot.
Fair enough.
That's it.